What's up? Welcome back to the Jared Williams Show. Today, we're going to talk about how to sell more jobs in 2025 because you guys have been listening to this podcast for a while and you're like, finally freaking raised your rates. Finally. And you're going out and you realize, man, it's hard to sell work charging what I actually need to charge to be profitable. And that's true. And if you don't have your close rates up, then you're squirdoodled completely. And I got my brother from another mother here.
That's it.
Mr. Eddie Barkhurst. What's up, man?
Not a lot, man. How's things going?
It's going good.
Good.
I was a little worried this morning. I woke up with a big zit. Luckily, it's on this side of my face.
Yeah.
So they can't see it on camera.
We got you from the good angle.
I popped it and it just it was bleeding everywhere this morning.
Dude, this is prime YouTube content.
Prime.
Like, we're getting into the good stuff now.
Prime. Just lets our audience know we're just real people.
We're just regular humans.
Regular Joe Blows over here. Real quick, this podcast episode is brought to you by PlumbLine, the masters of 24-hour answering your phones. You guys are spending a butt ton of money. You want jobs to close. You got to have your phones answered and jobs booked on the schedule. And PlumbLine is the master of that. I use them in my plumbing business. I use them in my pressure washing business currently. They're literally the best, hands down, after hours phone answering service. You can also use them for overflow calls, which will, like if you have a CSR or maybe you're out there answering the phone yourself, you're in a crawl space, you can't answer it, or your CSR's got two phones to her face and she can't answer another one, send that sucker to PlumbLine. They'll get it answered. They'll get that call booked. Awesome people. Go check them out at plumblineanswers.org. You will not be disappointed. Promise.
They do good work.
They actually do.
Yeah.
Here's one thing. We got some sponsors for the podcast because it helps us pay for the podcast. Because unfortunately, doing a podcast is not free. The equipment to do it is not free. The people to edit the episodes are not free. And we make some money from our coaching program, but it's very small. We've intentionally kept the cost of that incredibly low to help more people. And I can tell you one thing, I will not take a sponsor unless I absolutely trust their product and have used it and can vouch for it.
Yeah.
So that'll never happen here. I know there's other YouTube people with podcasts who do not have the same ideas as I do, but I will never do that.
Yeah.
Unless they offer me like $10 million.
Then morals are compromised.
Morals might be compromised for $10 million, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Unless you're a sponsor out there listening and you want to sponsor this for $10 million.
You got $10 million that you don't know what to do with? Hit us up.
Yeah. Hit us up. We'll just take one. We'll do a month of sponsorships and we'll quit.
Yep.
Okay. People finally raised their rates. We're going to assume that on this podcast. If you haven't raised your rates, what the hell are you waiting for?
It's probably time. Probably past time.
It's probably time. And there's I think a lot of people got I want to say confused, but my old business, my plumbing business was in Alaska. My new business is in Florida. One does plumbing, the other one does pressure washing. At the end of the day, they're the same freaking business. Could you agree?
I would agree. Yeah.
The thing we sell is just different.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
In Alaska, we eventually got our pricing down to $430 per hour. And then our markup on material on service work was 300%. It was 150% on anything with equipment, and I think 180% on any job 8 hours or longer. When I would do these reels with like pricing and stuff, plus our trucks up there, like our trucks, we had to buy a truck from 350 miles away, drive it up to Fairbanks, Alaska. We had to pull the floor out. They stopped coming with floors even. So we had to insulate the floor and then put a floor in it and then put a heater in it and insulate the walls. And you can't buy shelves up there. So we had to custom build all of our own shelves.
Yeah.
And it was incredibly expensive to outfit a van. And then we paid our guys, we had to pay our guys really, really well. Like 50 to $60 an hour plus full benefits. Like their full package was like almost $90 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be an expensive company to make that work.
Yeah.
Down here, we just raised our prices down here to what? $199 for member pricing.
Members $199. Yeah.
So member pricing $199. But we pay our guys $35 an hour plus benefits. Trucks are way easier to get here. We don't have to insulate them. We don't have to heat them. We don't have to maintain all that crap. We don't have to put tires on and chains on and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. So it's quite a bit cheaper to run a business down here. And so just because you see some of my reels with, hey, we charge $600 an hour, or a new shower valve is $1,700, or we got to be $4,200 for a water heater, doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be that either.
Right.
The idea is that you would go and take all of your expenses to run your company and actually figure out what you need to charge to pay your bills,
Mm-hmm.
and make a profit.
Yeah. You should be building your prices based on like legitimate information from your business, not something you found
Yes.
on an Instagram reel.
No.
Like, I get it. That's an easy place to start, but
Yes.
it should be based on what your business requires.
Yes. I'm going to go full transparency here. We make those Instagram reels to get views.
Clickbait?
It's, some of them, like, we're trying to give you good advice, but like, we got like 30 seconds to get a point across.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to get views or nobody sees our stuff.
Mm-hmm. It's got to be engaging.
It has to be engaging. That's what the whole platform is about. So we have to make stuff that provides as much information while still being engaging. And I can tell you the information side of it is pretty slim. If you guys want real information, I don't watch this podcast. Like, we cover pretty much everything on here. Go watch all the past episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So part of your pricing though, like even if you went and added up all of your expenses and said, okay, it cost me this much to run my company. Part of that equation needs to be how efficient you are, which is how much time you're going to sell. So if I work 2,000 hours and I only sell 10% of my time, I'm going to have to be way more expensive than if I sold 100% of my time.
Mm-hmm.
And part of selling your time is learning how to actually close jobs. And so there's this sweet spot of like, we can go out and if we like, there's two ways to like, there's in my mind, if you take close rates, which is what that would be, is how often are you closing jobs will directly affect how much time you're selling.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the more stuff you sell on site, the more time you're going to sell. So you can just sell more time in general by those two ways. But then you can get better at selling, period, and close more jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're closing more jobs, to me, it's a matter of two functions. Maybe you can agree.
Sure.
It's pricing and skill set.
I would completely agree.
Okay. Because if we were $10,000 an hour, our close rates would be poopy,
Pretty low.
probably zero.
You would need less jobs probably to meet your
Yeah.
annual expenses, though.
Yes. Yeah. If you sold one
Yeah.
for $1 million, you could cover all your expenses.
Just
Sure.
take the rest of the year off.
Chances are pretty slim though.
Mm.
However, if you were $0 an hour, like all the work you went and bid was free, you'd probably sell
A lot of your time.
a lot of your time, all of it, right? For
Mhm.
$0. So pricing does play a factor. And so like, how do people know?
What their price should be?
Well, so like when we're going to figure pricing and we're assuming we're going to sell a certain amount of our time, where do we start?
You need to figure out how much time you have for sale, I suppose.
Yeah.
Figure out what your expenses in the business are.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of figure out your standard that you're of the service that you're going to deliver, and then figure from there, Like, what infrastructure do I need in place in order to deliver that standard? If your standard is, I want to inform my customers through a text message that I'm on the way as soon as I head through that job, then you can't get away with paper tickets, obviously.
Right.
Paper tickets would fall well below the standard you're looking to deliver. And so that implies that you have to spend a certain amount of money on your CRM or whatever software you're operating off of.
Yep.
So figure out what your standard is that you want to deliver to your customer and the infrastructure required to deliver that standard. Find out what it costs in order to do that. And then put that in you should have a spreadsheet with all of your expenses listed out on them.
Yep.
It's a great place to start.
But on your efficiency, where should somebody start? This has been the big question of mine because, and we'll get into how to sell more jobs, but this kind of plays into it because I say this all the time now, the hourly rate in and of itself is a useless metric, right? If I was going to sell you a new toilet and let's say I have a company, you have a company, my toilet, I'm $800 an hour, you're $400 an hour. And then we go build price books, right? And we put on the toilet, I put 1 hour. But in your price book, you put 2 hours. The toilet at the end of the day is the same price. But I'm $800 an hour and you're $400 an hour. And if we both went on TikTok, I would get roasted harder than you, even though our toilet is the same price.
If we talked about our hourly rate.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes, but it's useless. Like to know somebody's hourly rate is totally useless. Somebody could be $50 an hour and put, I can't do the math, 8 hours on a toilet, which would seem really silly, but they could. And essentially they would be the same price, but they would sound cheaper than all of us.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a useless metric. So what that needs to be combined with is efficiency. So if I was the $50 an hour guy with 8 hours on my toilet, my efficiency for my company might be 120% or even 200%, because I could do 2 toilets a day and sell 16 hours worth of time, and I would be 200% efficient because I'd get 16 hours worth of work done in 8 hours.
Sure.
Right. And if I did that every day for an entire year, my efficiency for my company would be 200%. And so my hourly rate might be able to be $50 an hour.
Super low.
And I still cover my bills. So, but then yet what I see happen is, I've seen this happen a bunch. People are, by the way, you can get a free hourly rate calculator if you go to wealthyplumber.com. There's a freebie tab or the 3 hamburger things if you're looking at it on your phone. There's a price book, hourly rate calculator, and the playbook that we use to scale companies to 100K a month, no problem. It's all free. Go grab it. So in that calculator, there's a efficiency rating. And what I see happen is people will think about their efficiency and they'll say, oh, well, I could be 70% efficient.
Yeah. Which
if you're thinking about just your day and how much time you spend in the customer's home and how much of that time you could probably sell, that's probably pretty accurate.
You, the owner, might be.
You, the owner, and depending on the way you built your price book, your technicians could probably easily do that as well, right? So then, but what ends up happening is then they go and they start building their price book, or they go grab somebody else's price book and they don't adjust the time frames. And so then, or they're going in to adjust the time frames and they're like, let's say that their hourly rate at 70% is $300 an hour. And they're going and they're building a toilet task. And they're like, okay, so I'm not going to carry toilets on my van. So I'm going to have to go get one. There's an hour. I'm going to have to take the old toilet out and put the new one in. That's probably 30 minutes. But then I'm going to have to bill the customer and talk to the customer. There goes another 30 minutes. And then I'm going to have to drive to the job. There's another 30 minutes. So I'm an hour and a half in. And then I've got this old toilet that I need to go dispose of. So maybe I can just take it back to the shop, or when I'm back at the shop at the end of the day, I can dispose of it. But there's another, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes, call it 10 more minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden you've got an hour and 40 minutes on this task. And you're like, I should probably you just put hour and 40 minutes. Then you realize like your material markup needs to be, probably close to 100%. And so then you look at the price of this toilet and you go, it doesn't take me an hour and 40 minutes.
I could probably get it
I could
done
probably
quicker.
get it done in less. And so you put an hour and 15 minutes on that toilet. And you go through your whole price book and you build your price book and you trick yourself into thinking you can get stuff done faster than you actually can. And then you go out and you start doing jobs and you're like, cool, I got my hourly rate set at 300. I'm doing work. And then at the end of the day, your bills don't get paid. And you're like, mother, what the crap?
Mm-hmm.
What is happening? Well, we got told we can't cuss on the podcast this morning.
Yeah, I got told I cussed too much.
We're not allowed. Eddie's bringing
Sorry.
out the bad behavior in all
Sorry.
of us. And so at the end of the month, they're like, I don't have any money left over. And I raised my rates to 300. Jared was wrong. This hourly rate calculator doesn't work. And my guess is they probably go and they say, I need to close more of my jobs. And if they've got guys, they're probably like, I need to do sales training for my guys. When in reality, they're just screwing themselves over by not believing in their pricing and not putting enough time on their tasks. Yeah. So then at that point in time, they have an option. They can track what their actual global efficiency is and adjust it on their calculator, which will raise their rates,
Mm-hmm.
which will make the toilet cost what it should, or they can go in and add time to their tasks. What do you think the better option is?
So either one will get you closer to target, but
Mhm.
I much prefer finding out what your global or your overall efficiency is. If you worked 40 hours last week and you only sold 20 of them,
Yeah.
then you had 20 billable hours, but you worked 8 hours 5 days a week, then
Yep.
you know that your efficiency is 50%.
Yep.
You can arbitrarily inflate the time on your tasks, and it might fit this scenario, but it might not fit the next one.
Yeah.
I like to know what the overall efficiency is, or your global efficiency is, and operate it or take it an approach from that angle.
Like change the hourly rate based on global efficiency.
I like to know what that is. Yeah.
And so when we say global efficiency, for everybody listening, we're talking about like if you work a month and you work 160 hours and you sell 80 hours in that month, that would be 50% billable efficiency or global efficiency.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I think you should go back to your task and not necessarily arbitrarily add time, but you should try to make that time as accurate as possible.
Sure. Yeah.
And you could see that through like, here's why I think that, because so like in our price book, we have a toilet and we have a toilet flapper, and then we have custom tasks that are like, hey, I need an hour to do this job and I need $20 worth of materials. You select the right task and it poops out an estimate item for you with the right price on it and everything. And your guys are going to use those based on how long they think it's going to take, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the goal would be to get them as accurate as humanly possible on those, so that when they say it takes them 2, it takes them 2. And you would measure that through billable efficiency, which is different than global efficiency. It's how long the task was bid for versus how long it took to do the task. If that was really low, that would be an indicator that either your guys are using those custom tasks wrong or you just don't have enough time on your task.
Yes,
Right.
I like that approach. like the difficult part in this example, it works great if,
Right.
especially if there's only one thing on the estimate of the invoice, then it's super easy to look at and say, well, it was the toilet task that took me too long. That was the only thing that was on there.
Right.
I underestimated how long it would take. Usually there's multiple things on that invoice. And so from my perspective, looking at the invoice back at the office, if I see, 4 separate tasks on there, there's no way for me to know if the
No.
toilet task needs adjusted, or if this angle stop task needs adjusted, or if it was the PRV task needs adjusted. It's hard to say.
Yep. I agree.
So if there's multiple things on there, then if you have the ability to talk with the technician and say, of the 4 things that were on here, which of these things made you go a little bit longer? And if they say, this one took me a little extra and this one took me a little extra, then maybe you got some information to work with there.
Yeah.
You can make an adjustment.
Yes. I think what happens is we narrow down our time frames on all our stuff, but it has a larger effect on the small single items. Because when we have a low billable efficiency and then we go raise rates, and then let's take a toilet flapper, for instance. You're like, okay, it's 15 minutes plus 15 or 20 minutes talking to the customer plus 30 minutes of drive time, and that thing's an hour and 15 minutes regardless. And when you raise rates, like, because your billable efficiency is terrible, from 400 to 600, that thing's really expensive and it's hard to convert. Versus if you were to leave rates at 400 and add more time to that, it stays a lot cheaper and you can raise your billable efficiency. And it seems like the better way to go, like to be as accurate as humanly possible on the actual task.
Yeah, that's incredibly important.
Yeah.
The closer that is, like the healthier
Yes.
the whole operation is. Yeah.
So starting out, national average is 50 to 60%. So I just tell everybody to start at 55.
Yeah.
And then go build your price book and then come back to your price book and go, okay, do I actually have enough time on this? And then go measure your billable efficiency or global efficiency. And then go change your price. If you can't, like if you're getting better global efficiency because you have more time on your tasks, then you can afford to lower your hourly rate. But you should only do that if that makes you more money. Correct?
Correct.
Why would you lower your rates if it makes you less money? If your customers aren't any happier and you don't make any more money, you have no reason to do that.
Agree. Fully agree.
Cool. Okay.
That it?
Dude.
That can't be it.
We agree. It's the first time ever. Okay. How to sell more jobs in 2025. You've been talking to some guys about sales lately. I have a whole new appreciation for sales. Like I always thought price book, operations, building value, screw sales. That's like used car salesman stuff.
Yeah.
But now I kind of view sales just as like communication. It's communication of all that other stuff. How do we communicate that clearly to the customer? What's your number one thing when it comes to sales?
So let me preface this by saying I'm not a salesman.
Right.
So when I was a tech in the field, we were the salesman and the technician. We had to go there and diagnose what was wrong and then propose a repair or replacement to the customer. And when I was a tech in the field, we weren't operating off of any fancy software. It was really just, I had to guess how much time and material I'd be on the job. I told the customer it's going to be this much time at this hourly rate. And so I just tried to get as close to it as I could.
Yep.
I wasn't a salesman. I have zero formal sales training. But I was pretty good at communicating to the customer what needed to be done and why they should hire me to make that repair.
Yep.
My number one thing that I think is incredibly important to convey when talking to a customer or trying to sell something to a customer is value. You have to express some sort of value to the customer. They have to know that the money that they're about to spend on you and whatever your repair is, that money is going to be well placed,
Mm-hmm.
that they're going to get the outcome that you told them that they would get, and that it's going to work just like you said that it was going to, and I'll have heat here, or it will start cooling now, or whatever the desired outcome is.
Yep.
And if they don't feel that they will get that result because of something you did do or didn't do or did say or didn't say, then you'll never close that deal.
Yep.
So to me, like, you need to have competence, one, in technical ability, and then be able to convey that to the customer. Show them that you know how to fix the thing that it is that you said you can fix. And two, show them that them placing that investment in you is a smart move. It will come
Yep.
with a return. Not that you're going to give a 7% on the money that they give you, but that you're going to give them the equipment is going to operate just like you said it would. That's incredibly important. Expressing value to the customer is incredibly important. Unexpressed value is the same as no value at all.
I agree. 100%. My thing has always been confidence, because I see a lot of guys go in and they're like scared,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like worried that they're asking the customer to spend too much money, and they don't believe in its value again, but they don't believe in their pricing
Mm-hmm.
or in themselves, that they're worth, that like their abilities that they're about to give this customer are worth the price that they're going to ask for it.
Do you think confidence comes kind of on the backside of competence? Like, if they're really good at fixing a thing
Mm-hmm.
and they fully understand the hourly rate
Oh, yeah.
and how the price book is built, like, if you have that level of competence, wouldn't that just kind of inherently come with a certain level of confidence
Oh,
in
yeah.
it?
Like I gained way more confidence the second I had employees and I had to provide their payroll, and I had customers calling us out to their house and signing to do work and then doing a chargeback. And like you start to become numb to all this stuff, and you start to see all of these reasons that you need to be more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Or your guy went to somebody's house and they flooded the carpet, and now you got to fork out 20 grand to replace carpet in their basement, or
Mm-hmm.
just, all the stuff in business that most people are like, it's too risky, it's too scary, that you can overcome if you're just expensive and you work that stuff into your hourly rate. You just gain more and more reasons to be expensive, which is a confidence booster,
Sure. Yeah.
hands down.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, if you're the company that, treats your guys well and comes in and fixes things right the first time, and if you don't, you come back and you make it right. Like those kinds of things that, like, when you start to see how your company operates versus how the other companies in town operate, you start to build a lot of confidence in the value that you're offering.
Mm-hmm.
Hands down.
Yep. I completely agree.
Yeah, I think I had like accidental confidence in my service.
Misplaced confidence
Kind
a
of.
little bit. Yeah.
I was just like, it was almost like a whatever. I tried so much, like I tried being in business like 3 times before, and I kept failing. And
Mm-hmm.
it's funny because I saw on a reel the other day, some dude was like claiming I bankrupted my first 3 companies.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I was like, interesting. That's an interesting idea. Hopefully he's listening to this.
Yeah.
I didn't bankrupt anything.
No.
Not yet. Hopefully never. Yeah, I think it was accidental confidence because I was like at ends wit. I was like, well, if this doesn't work, then I just got to go work for somebody else for the rest of my life and be a miserable turd.
Yeah.
Yeah, miserable piece of crap.
It kind of pushes you to, I mean, that's a terrible outcome. No one wants that. So it kind of forces you to make a decision.
Yeah, I remember being surprised that people just said yes. I was like, whoa.
Oh, geez. Like you would never say yes to it yourself.
Well, I wouldn't. That's the
Yeah.
thing. That's why it's hard to believe in for most people, is because they don't pay somebody to fix stuff for them. They fix
We
it.
are not our ideal customers, that's for sure.
No, I still slip into that mindset. Like, I was looking at my garage. I'm thinking about selling my house, and I was looking at my garage, and I got this workbench that I built to like cut wood and junk on.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking at that stuff, all those tools, and I hate using them.
I thought you loved it.
No, I hate it.
Oh.
And I hate mowing my yard.
Mm-hmm.
And there's things that I hate doing, and I still find myself going, I'll just do it because I don't want to pay somebody else to do it. But why?
I would guess old habit. Like I
Yeah.
feel the same way about certain things. Like
Yeah.
I can fix it myself. I don't need to hire anybody.
I do run into, like, sometimes it's just easier to fix it myself than to hire somebody.
When you outsource it like that, you give up a lot of things. Like it no longer operates on your timeline or your schedule anymore.
Yep.
You may be reducing the quality of the outcome that you're going to get. Like
Yep.
like they might come in and mow your lawn in a way that you don't like.
Yep.
So there's a risk of the quality being less than you want it to be and not on your timeline. That's a big one for me. Like,
Yeah.
I had a leak in my apartment. I was fully capable of fixing it,
Mm-hmm.
but this is not my apartment. I'm not allowed to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's outsourced to
Mhm.
somebody. And so it's dripping water inside the walls, where I don't know if you guys know anything about the humid state of Florida, but that could go real bad real quick if it's not dried out. And it just, like, I'm not going to fix the sheetrock. I'd hire somebody to do that, but I can fix the leak. I can solve this problem right away,
Yeah.
but it's not mine. So I have to outsource it now. And the frustrating part was that I had to give up all of the quality control to someone else.
Yeah. And so think about that from a homeowner's standpoint, who literally can't do the thing,
Mm-hmm.
and they are forced into calling somebody. They still have the same concerns, like, how much time is this going to take? Is the person even going to do a good job?
Am I going to
Are
have to
they
take time off
competent?
work?
Am I going to have to take time off work? Like, is all the same
Are
things.
they going to show up when
they
they
gonna-
said they're going to show
Are
up?
they going to show up? Is this going to be another geriatric, Band-Aid fix plumber who shows up in a crappy white van?
Mm-hmm.
And so if you, the contractor or the plumber, can go there with absolute confidence and competence in what you're doing, and you can communicate that value to that customer, you got yourself a customer. And if you can satisfy what you communicated, basically fulfill with what you said you were going to do,
Mm-hmm.
exactly, you have a very happy customer.
The customer's in a real vulnerable spot if they know nothing about
Right.
whatever it is that you're going to do. They're incredibly vulnerable in that they have to let you inside of their home. You're just some random person that they never met. And judging by a lot of the construction guys I worked with, I wouldn't let most of those people in my home.
No.
They stink. Are they going to run off with my stuff?
Yep.
Would I be comfortable leaving my wife there to meet this person, for him to be working in my home for X number of hours? Would I be comfortable with that?
Yep.
And if you can overcome all of that stuff, you're in a lot better spot than a lot of those other guys are.
Heck yeah. I agree. Okay. Let's get down to the nitty gritty of this.
Mm-hmm.
I got some notes. People have probably heard this one a million times. Offer options, because it works. I think options are great. A lot of the coaching programs and stuff will teach you to just build pre-built options. I think that's complete garbage. If you come to my house and I got a toilet flapper bed and all you're offering me is a toilet flapper, a toilet rebuild, or a new toilet, like, it'll help.
Sure.
But I think that that's total garbage.
I think that's a placeholder for technician competence.
Yeah, that's an incompetent technician. Like, the
Mhm.
better thing to do would be to talk to that homeowner, get to know the homeowner's customer needs and wants, inspect a larger variety of their plumbing, and then build options based on the conversation and what you found in the home.
Mm-hmm.
That would be so much better.
Mm-hmm.
I had the best luck when I would go into a home. People would call me out for like a tune and clean on a boiler, and I'd say, "Yeah, we can do that, no problem." And I would ask the question, if I find anything else during the tune and clean, would you want me to bring it to your attention? And they would say, "Yes, please." And so then it was real easy for me as I was doing the tune and clean. I'm looking at all of the stuff on the boiler. I might even ask them to go in their crawl space and take a look. I might even say, "Hey, can I go move your thermostats so I can make sure your zone valves are working?"
Mm-hmm.
And then I could build a list and I would give them options, but it would be like, "Hey, here's some things that like absolutely need repaired today. They're actually not working. They're broken.
Mm-hmm.
Here's those things plus some things that could cause you problems in the near future. Like this thing over here is actively leaking. Is it going to break anything now? No. Is it going to last you through the winter? Maybe. But if you fix it, could I guarantee you're going to have a much better heating system all winter? Yes."
Mm-hmm.
And then I would say, here's some upgrades you could make to your system that would be nice to have, plus all those other things. What would you like me to do? Those are so much better options.
Yeah.
Way better. And then like when I was in somebody's home, I would just ask, "When's the last time you had your boiler tuned?" And then I'm right back in there in front of their boiler again,
Mm-hmm.
doing all three of those things. Or if you're a plumber, just ask, "When's the last time you had your water heater flushed?"
Yeah.
When's the last time you had your water heater flushed?
I don't even know where my water heater is in
Yeah,
my apartment
see?
anymore.
In your old house, when's the last time you flushed it?
Oh, geez. It didn't get done as often as it should.
Yeah, and
That's
you're
for
a
sure.
plumber, and you like nobody flushes their water heater when it's
Mhm.
supposed to be flushed, and homeowners don't even know it's supposed to be flushed, and they don't know when it was flushed last. They're gonna say, "God, I don't know," and you, the technician, can then say, "Oh, well, we should go at least let me go take a look at it because you're supposed to
Mhm.
flush that thing every year according to manufacturer recommendations." And then you can go out there and you can get your eyes on the water heater. You can check the age of the water heater. You could even hook a hose up to the drain and run it into the bucket and see if it even drains.
Right.
And now you got all sorts of options to offer the customer. Another thing that I would do to get better options would be if I'm in the home, let's say I get called out for a toilet, rather than giving you flapper rebuild toilet options, I'm going to ask you, I'm already here looking at this toilet. Would you like me to look at the rest of your toilets free of charge? If I find anything, I'll let you know. No obligation to buy, but at least you'll know it's broken.
Mhm.
Nobody says no to that. Not a soul.
Mhm.
So now I'm in every bathroom in their home. And then I'm going to ask them, when's the last time you had your water heater flushed? And they're going to be like, "Oh my gosh, never." What do you mean?
I don't even know if you're supposed to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If water quality is an issue, when's the last time you had your water tested?
Mhm.
You can literally, like, if you're on municipal water, you can go get the list of what's in the water from the municipality.
Mhm.
You could even have pre-built like filter options based on what's in the municipal water in your price book and a few different options for them so that you can always offer that on every call.
Mhm.
That's how you make options work.
Yeah.
Because you end up finding more things, presenting more options, giving better value to the customer, and you'll just have bigger average tickets and make more sales.
Yep.
If you offer every customer a water filtration and you sell 5% of them, that's more than you would have sold if you didn't offer any of them.
Yep. If you just showed up and did whatever they said over the phone,
Yeah.
only looked at whatever they said over the phone. Yeah.
That's what makes options work. That, and there's like there's the price anchoring aspect to it. It's like, hey, we got this badass option over here with water filtration and we can replace all your toilets and blah, blah, blah. It's, I don't know, $8,500. Or we got this, these two middle options. Maybe one ranges like $3,000 and the
Sure.
other one's $2,000. And then I could just fix your, this basic thing for $1,200.
Mhm.
It makes those middle options not seem so bad. Or
Yeah,
even,
there's tons of tactics like that
yeah.
kind of give you a little bit of an advantage, but I think it all starts with Just can you have just a normal conversation
Yes.
as a human being to another human being?
Yep.
That's the start. Don't worry about tactics or strategy yet. Just
So
start with talking.
I got into an argument with Joel this morning, kind of an argument. And because I thought that the the going into like salesman mode in the home, I think is a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
I think you should just be your real self and just a normal human being in another normal human being's home, having a normal human being conversation about whatever it is that they want and how much your company charges to get that done
Mm-hmm.
and why my company is better than every other company.
Mm-hmm.
And so the price we're asking is actually a really reasonable price because you get so much more. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think, like I said, unexpressed value is no
Yeah.
value. So, yeah, it all starts with just being able to, like, getting into the salesman pitch of it.
Yep.
Like, I can see how it's easy to fall into that, especially
Yeah.
if you're, okay, my goal for this month is to generate revenue. And so then I can see how one could just fall right into the role of, I better be a good salesman. But I think that you can't be a good salesman unless, like I said, unless you're just able to just have a normal conversation with people. Just
Yep.
talk to people like they're just regular people, and you're just a regular person there who has the skill that this person needs. And
Yep.
so if you're able to listen to them, figure out what it is that they want done, and then like you should have showed up with your van full of solutions and assure them that you have the solution with you, and I
Mm-hmm.
can take care of this for you. It's no big deal at all.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, then like that's the majority of the way there. I
Yep.
think the tactics of price anchoring and the customer said, well, let me talk to my friend, or my neighbor's a plumber, I should ask him before. Like, so there's some tactic in there that one can develop. But I mean, if you just
I think all those are because they don't trust you. Like they don't trust you as a
doesn't seem
person.
like a safe investment.
Doesn't seem like a safe investment. And, they're not confident in your ability or the product you're offering.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're getting those objections, I think you messed up far, far,
Earlier in the
far ago,
conversation.
way far ago. Like you
Mm-hmm.
totally screwed up. And I think like for me, if I was to go into somebody's house and start acting like a salesman, putting on a sales presentation, I lose that trust.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can see it. It's like it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
You don't got it anymore. And then you start getting objections. I think like when I was out in the field, I closed at a very high rate. And I think a lot of it was just I was just accidentally chill in your home because that's my personality.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was accidentally confident enough in my product because I didn't want to go work for anybody else. And I would just have a normal conversation
Mm-hmm.
like, hey, what's up? Like, here, I can go look at your stuff. Let me take a look. I'll tell you what I find.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here's what I found. So I put together some options based on what I found. Let me know if any of these pique your interest. But basically, what's going on is all of this, and what I think the best solution would be to do this because of these reasons. And I've seen this a million times before, and I've solved
Mm-hmm.
it for other people. I think this would be your best spot, and it's going to cost you this much. I got stuff in my van. I can get it done for you today. You want to do it? And they'd be like, yeah.
I think I share that sentiment. I feel like inadvertently a good salesman as well.
Yeah.
However, you're pretty easy to get along with. You're a
Yep.
pretty chill guy, pretty likable guy, pretty agreeable guy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we've had guys at Prospector
Mm-hmm.
that would show up to a customer's house and were their authentic self. I would never recommend that these people in particular were their authentic selves.
True.
They were not agreeable.
True.
Maybe they were a bit arrogant and they thought they knew everything and they knew better than the homeowner. Like, you show up as the expert, and so you should be advising or prescribing certain repairs to the customer. However, you should never be that kind of arrogant. That level of arrogance
True.
is not going to win you any friends.
So maybe authentic self is not the right term.
Sure.
Yeah.
You need to be like, so I believe that you kind of need to know your audience and you need to talk to that person in the way that they want to be talked to.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't mean pandering, but I do mean that, like, if you're at a customer's house and you see that that this person doesn't like swearing and it's your style to swear all the time because you're a construction worker and been there that way for a lot of years, I would say don't swear in front of that customer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't ever go to when I'm at a person's house and it's a female at the door, I won't ever swear. There's no way in the world I will ever swear in front of her.
No.
I don't want her to feel uncomfortable. You can't look like I look and then go and be your authentic self.
Yep.
If your authentic self is disagreeable,
Yep.
she's not going to feel comfortable.
Yep.
She's not going to feel like you're the type of person that she wants to give her money to. So you need to kind of change your tone and your just the way you are and be who you believe the customer wants you to be. What will put them at ease? What will make them comfortable? What will make them want to, like, nobody wants to spend this money on fixing their zone valves. Nobody wants to spend that money.
No.
But what you can do is behave in a way that says, if I have to spend this money on zone valve work, I'd rather give it to this guy than that arrogant guy over there or that disagreeable person over there. So you just got to kind of read your audience and then talk to them the way that they want to be talked to.
I 100% agree. Did you read my notes?
No, I
That
didn't
was the
see
next
them.
thing on my
I
notes.
saw you had them.
You're stealing my thunder.
I'm working
man.
ahead a little bit. My bad.
No, it's good. It's natural in the conversation. I like it. I agree. You need to read the person you're talking to for sure. Another one I have on here is speed. You always hear everybody say speed to lead is the key. But
I actually don't know that I've ever heard that.
Oh, I've heard it. Well, you hear it in like the marketing circle. Speed to
Ah.
lead, speed to lead, speed to lead. Like somebody calls, you got to answer the phone. Somebody fills out a form, you got to be calling them right away. Somebody fills out a Facebook lead form, you got to be on it.
Sure.
But I think that needs to carry on throughout the whole thing, because if somebody fills out a form on your website and you call them within 2 minutes, and then you got them booked within an hour,
Impressive.
and then you're at their house and you're giving them solutions and you're going to fix them right now,
Mm-hmm.
that's like impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Most companies can't do that.
Yeah.
And I always say, like, when the person wakes up and they got something broken in their home, let's say their main sewer line's clogged, they can't use any of their toilets. What they want is for the problem to go away
Mm-hmm.
as quickly as humanly possible. They
Mhm.
would love it if they could just snap their finger and the problem's gone.
Yep. If
And
they could go onto your website and click fix problem now and enter their credit card information and it goes away, they would do it.
Oh, totally. Yep. Somebody could invent that. Totally.
We should get on that.
We should. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe when robots are a thing,
Okay.
but I don't know. So how do we build our service in a way to get as close to that as we possibly can?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just that speed all the way through. Answer the phones, show up quick, give the estimates, let them know you're going to do it right now for the most part,
Mm-hmm.
as much as you can.
Yeah.
You're going to, like, your close rate's going to go up.
Don't talk quickly.
No,
You don't want to talk
No,
quickly
no.
to the customer.
you
but
need to, once you're at the home, you need to take your time and build that rapport and have that relationship and communicate clearly,
Mm-hmm.
not blow through your estimates or blow through your presentation, but the speed at which you can get to them and get them taken care of is
Huge.
massive,
Yeah.
massive importance. Super, super important. Beyond important.
Mm-hmm.
We're screwed.
Uh-oh.
I have no idea how long this podcast is because I forgot to set my timer. So it's going to be what it's going to be.
It's either going to be too long or too short.
Too long or too short. It's up to the internet world to decide. Okay, I got one more thing on here. And then we can get anything else that you think is relevant. Before I do, we're throwing an event.
Yeah.
Wealthy Plumber Hoorah is coming up October 2nd and October 3rd. Be right here in my hometown, Pensacola, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be awesome. We got some really good speakers. We got Ellen Rohr, Doug Wyatt, Eddie Barkhurst. We got a couple guys who grew their shops from small to big really quick, come to talk, tell their story. And it's a small event, 100 tickets. We just launched it. We're about to sell out. By the time this launches, it could be sold out. So if you want to take it, go check it out. Go to wealthyplumber.com/ actually just go to wealthyplumber.com and then click on Hoorah in the top right corner. That'll take you to the page. It's going to be fun. You're going to get a ton of value out of it.
Yeah.
I can guarantee it.
Ellen Rohr being there is going to be pretty cool.
Dude, all of them being there is going to be cool. I like all the speakers there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all cool. Okay, last one, and probably the most important, is your freaking brand. Nobody wants to invest in their brand. I just saw a post from, I can't remember who the post was from, but the man for brands is Dan Antonelli.
Mm-hmm.
Owns Kick Charge. This is not a shout out for him. He does great work. I don't get paid to say any of that. He reposted a client's post, or he sent Dan a message. He said, "I never believed you, but rebranding was the third best thing I did. The first was getting married. The second was having kids. The third is rebranding."
His wife made him say that. She was looking over his shoulder.
Yeah. She was looking over his shoulder like,
Mm-hmm.
what he's saying, this is the best thing I ever done. She's like,
She
really?
said, you better edit that right now.
Yeah, probably. But the brand, man, that's such an important one.
Yeah.
That's like everybody says the CSR is your first contact with the customer. Your brand is the first contact with the customer.
Mm-hmm.
And it's communicating something.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not. It's communicating to that customer whether they can trust you or not.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can communicate that trust with the brand, and then you follow up that trust with the CSR's communication,
Mm-hmm.
and then you follow up that trust with the technician's communication, and you include that speed in there, that makes the whole process so much easier.
Yeah.
Anything to add on that?
So marketing and branding and stuff like that is a little bit outside of my scope. However, I do know that just you see so many guys just run around in a white van, just a plain white van, and it says plumber guy LLC or whatever on the door. That doesn't stand out. It's not memorable for anybody. Nobody's going to remember that when they're thinking of a plumber. They need to, whatever your brand is, that needs to kind of stand out in their mind. And if it's even somewhat relatable to somebody, then like you're way ahead. You don't have to try and beg people to remember who you are by, you remember the old commercials where they said their name and then their phone number, and then they repeat the phone number, and then they repeat the phone number, and then they repeat the phone number and sing songs so that you remember it, right? That's weak.
Well, we don't have to do that anymore.
We don't do that anymore, but your brand should be like, should have a much better impact than that garbage ever did. And I'm, like I said, this is a bit outside of my scope, but don't underestimate the value of a good brand.
I 100% agree.
Doesn't really cost money. It makes you money if it's done right.
it actually costs you more money not having the brand because your
Yeah.
advertising is going to be 10,000 times harder
Mm-hmm.
because nobody's going to remember who you are. Can you tell the difference between a good brand and an okay brand?
A good brand and an okay brand, like there's very little difference between like a bad brand and an okay brand in my mind. Like though that's a
Yeah.
very little difference, but that like a
So like somebody's got bright colors and a full truck wrap, but it's just kind of like mediocre versus that looks freaking sharp.
yeah, there's a big difference between those two for sure.
Yes. So I think a lot of people are catching on to like, we got to get branded, but then they're still screwing it up by hiring a cheap branding company
Mm-hmm.
or, yeah, or like going to the wrap store and letting the wrap store design their brand.
It's just a copy and paste. What do you want? You want red and blue to indicate you do plumbing and heating, right?
Yeah.
Shall we do it
Yeah.
around a flame and a snowflake?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Or even like thinking like, I'm going to build the brand so that I think it looks good,
mm-hmm.
not so the homeowner thinks it looks good.
Mm-hmm.
Because I get a lot of guys who will come into the program and I don't know who they're hiring, and they'll hire this brand company and they'll post it in the thing. And then I got to tell them, dude, that looks like trash. Like you need to start over.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you how many times I've said that. I always try to be honest.
It's tough to say
Like-
because you're telling them their baby's ugly.
Yep, dude, that's freaking ugly. I would start over, hire one of these 3 companies. They'll do you a good brand.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're doing those other companies because they're cheaper,
Mm-hmm.
but they're getting like a result. Like, so like my brother owns Mammoth Marketing. You can go to Mammoth Marketing and get a brand done. I want to say, don't quote me on this. I don't even know if I'm supposed to say it, but it's $6,500 to get a brand done.
Mm-hmm.
You can hire Kick Charges like 20 grand. You can hire Kongify. I think it's like 65 or $7,500. And then there's all these those are the only 3 I know that I would say will do a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Mammoth and Kongify will do a very good job. Kick Charge takes it slightly to a higher level,
Mm-hmm.
just ever so slightly. Like I'll call it a great job. Everybody else I've seen is just garbage,
Mm-hmm.
just total garbage. I've seen a few okay brands come from, I think it's Prolific Design, but for the most part, Kongify, Mammoth, or Kick Charge.
Yeah.
But it's funny that because like people can't tell that, like I'll get plumbers in, they genuinely cannot tell the difference. They'll send me their brand and I'll be like on a Zoom call with them and they'll be like, yeah, I just got my van wrap. Check it out. Check it out.
This out.
Or they'll send me the mock-up of the van wrap and I'll say, dude, compare that to these. And I'll show them Kick Charge brands.
Mm-hmm.
I go on Kick Charge's website, I filter by plumbers, and I say, compare your brand to these. How do you think it stacks up? And they're like, I think it's great. I'm like, weird.
Mm-hmm.
How do you not see that? Like there's zero creative eyeball in these people's heads.
Mm-hmm.
And they literally can't tell the difference between a good one and a bad one.
Yeah.
So my advice is just go hire one of those 3 companies and let them have creative control.
It's funny that, yeah, people don't have an eye for stuff like that.
None.
But I mean, I suppose that's a skill to be acquired too.
It is. To me, it's obvious.
But
Like,
if you don't have
this
the
looks
skill,
like garbage. This looks good.
if you don't have the skill, outsource it, you know?
I 100% agree. The other thing I see with brand is people will just like go all pink because they're like, oh, pink stands out.
Yeah.
There's a company here. There's a company in my coaching program named Mr. Pink.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. It ties the name in.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cool brand.
He's got a very cool brand.
He does. It's a cool brand. But there's a company here in Pensacola. They have a gnome as a character, and they're We Care Plumbing, and their whole van is pink. And I have seen their van. Like, yes, the pink stands out,
Mm-hmm.
but mixed with the gnome and the name We Care, none of those things tie in together whatsoever.
It sounds like a travel company or like a home hospital.
Something. And then what's the gnome all about?
Travelocity gnome. That's the only, I mean, like that's the reference
Oh,
I
I
get
gotcha.
immediately.
I gotcha. So I saw their vans everywhere for years before I finally figured out, oh, that's a plumbing company.
Mm. That's not what you want a brand's impact to be
No,
at all.
no, not at all. And it took me forever to remember their name. But actually, the whole time been filming this podcast, probably for the last 30 minutes, I've been trying to remember their name.
Oh, yeah.
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 And
That's not good.
and it
That's
just
not the
finally
way
clicked.
branding should work.
No, should not. And that's like me purposely trying. Imagine somebody who's not trying.
Mm-hmm.
It just wouldn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody who's not out looking at vans.
Their
I look
water-
at all the vans.
Yeah, their water heater's leaking and they're sitting in the garage saying, okay, it's a pink van.
Yep.
That's not how you want people to think of your brand when it's time.
Hell no. Okay. Your brand goes further than just your logo and design and all that. You got to brand your guys. Your brand is like the energy behind your company, how your company talks.
Mm-hmm.
All of that plays into your brand.
Mm-hmm.
The guys you hire and the way they look, like, are they going shirts tucked in, shirts untucked? I don't think it matters, but it needs to be on brand.
Mm-hmm.
Do you allow beards? No beards? Do they need to have haircuts? No haircuts? Should they be clean cut? Not clean cut?
Mm-hmm.
Can they show their tattoos or no tattoos?
Mm-hmm.
I think you should think about all of that stuff and say, okay, this is the brand that, like, I have this logo and this design, and this is the brand that I want to show to my customers. What does that look like on all fronts? I think that'll help a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it should be congruent. Like, it
Mm-hmm.
should be, all of it should align.
Yep.
It should all match.
Yep. Think
Concur.
of the biggest, most recognizable brands. They don't have a, the uniform standard is not, it doesn't say this is our standard, but it's open for interpretation.
Yeah.
This is our standard. You adhere to it or you don't work here.
Yep. The funny part is, if you draw that line, what do you do if somebody's like, I'm not tucking in my shirt?
So, if whatever the deviation is, right? I have had to pull people aside and say that hat is not a company hat, and
Yep.
it says right here in this agreement that you signed that you can wear a hat if you want. You don't have to wear a hat, but if you wear a hat, it must be a company branded hat. Now, your Ducks Unlimited hat is not a company branded hat, and it's filthy. You are not allowed to show up at the customer's house with that hat on. So you either switch into this other hat or we have a different discussion. It sucks to do, but it depends on, like, where do you want to go with this? If this is just a casual weekend type thing for you, then maybe you can be lenient. But if you're serious and you want to grow this into something, then you, the owner or the integrator or the GM or whatever you are, you need to hold a firm line and not let anybody cross it, because I promise you, if you let them get a little bit across that line, they're going to be looking for all the other areas where they can get all the way across that line.
You give them an inch and they take 2.
100%.
Yep. And then the second they have 2, they go for 3.
Mm-hmm.
And the second they have 3, they go for 4.
Yep. And they just
Before
want
you
to
know
see how far they can push you.
You got a bunch of wild men and women out there doing whatever the hell they want.
And if I don't let them do it, they're going to go to the boss and they're going to say, can you believe how mean
Yeah.
Eddie was being to me?
He's so rude. He told me I couldn't wear my Ducks Unlimited hat.
Yep.
Interesting.
Filthy Ducks Unlimited hat. Don't wear that crap here.
No, not at all.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And you got anything to add?
No, I don't know. I think that, like I said, I'm not a salesman, but I think that you need to just be able to communicate very clearly. But I think that there is definitely something to be said for your skill as a technician in the field. If you're a technician who also does sales, your skill as a technician in the field, you need to recognize that there is a level of skill required to sell the larger estimates. And if you want to sell larger estimates, then you need to acquire the skills that allow you to convey that value to the customer. And if you can't do that, then you're never going to close them. Like, you got to be competent in the work that you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to be able to show the customer that spending that money with you is a smart move, and
Yep.
it won't be money wasted.
Yep.
That requires a level of skill, and you got to be willing to learn that skill, acquire that skill.
It's needed to be in business.
Mm-hmm.
Like, sure, you're a plumber and you started a company and I just want to do the plumbing. Well, guess
Mm-hmm.
what? You can't do the plumbing until you make the sale.
If you just want to do the plumbing, then you should work for somebody.
You should totally go work for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I agree. Because there's a lot of people looking for people who just want to do the plumbing.
Yeah.
The world needs those people. There's
Yeah,
nothing wrong
absolutely.
with it. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And then, like, if you don't train on communication and value and confidence and show your guys how to build estimates and talk to customers and present themselves, and your close rates suffer, what that's going to force you to do is raise prices. It's a viable solution, but sometimes it can be unfair to the customer when all you had to do is train your guys how to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a lot of people are scared of sales. Well, what's more fair to the customer? Learn how to, like, train our people to communicate them so we can keep our prices reasonable, or inflate our prices because we failed to train our people on sales.
Mm-hmm.
I think you should learn how to train on sales and keep your prices within 20 to 30% net margin and be happy with it.
Mm-hmm.
That's
The
what I
amount of
think.
people that think they're good communicators that are not good communicators is
Yeah.
kind of wild.
Yep.
There's a lot of people that think they're communicating well, and they're really not doing a very good job of that at all.
Well, I see it when I communicate with, I probably see it the most when I communicate with you, because when I communicate with you, you actually seek to understand what I'm talking about. Probably the only one. Like, my wife just kind of blows me off. But with you, you're like, okay, I actually got to understand what he's getting after here.
Mm-hmm.
And then so you have to clarify. And then I'm like, damn it, that's not what I meant. So how do I say this in a different way? Which I'm like, why? I'll think about it later sometimes and be like, man, why did I communicate it this way in the beginning when I could have just communicated it this way and it would have been understood?
Sure.
And I thought I was being clear.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know how unclear of a communicator I can be.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously, right?
Yeah.
But in my mind, I'm like, I'm getting this point across to Eddie. He's got it. He understands it. And then, like,
I hit you with these questions.
yeah, and then I'm like,
yeah.
I didn't even, or in that case, it's probably more like I didn't even think it all the way through
Sure.
to be able to communicate it all the way. But
Sure.
yeah. Cool, man. So raise your prices, learn how to sell, and then learn how to market your company. And then you've got, like, the baseline stuff figured out.
Mm-hmm.
If you can take phone calls, you can price them properly, and you can sell jobs, you got yourself a business.
Mm-hmm.
And having a business is way more fun than having a job, especially one that spits out a lot of money with other people involved that can do the marketing and the sales and the operations for you so that you don't have to.
Yeah.
Then
Yep.
it becomes super rad.
I do the operations type of stuff, but if I was applied to marketing, this would be a mistake. Don't ever do that. Don't ever apply me to marketing. So I'm glad that other people handle that type of stuff, but
Hell yeah.
I love operations.
All righty. Well, if you guys want more plumbing business advice, go to wealthyplumber.com. Join our school program. Big old button on our website. It's pretty awesome. You get all of our resources, training program, whole bunch of business owners trying to do the same stuff. Can't go wrong. It's only $99 a month, 7-day free trial. At least go try it out.
Mm-hmm.
Check out what's in there. Attend some of the Zoom calls. See if it's a good fit for you. If not, bounce. I don't care either way. Go in there, grab free resources, and then bounce.
Sure.
That's fine.
You're probably going to end up staying a little bit longer, though.
I would think so. Most people do. See you guys on the next one.